Denver, the state of Colorado, you guys have been fucking amazing for the last 10 years.
Let me start off with a Twitch feed this morning, and I got to get the whole name right. Mile High Hockey Lab.
The city of Denver, the state of Colorado, you guys have been fucking amazing for the last 10 years.
Let me start off with a Twitch feed this morning, and I got to get the whole name right. Mile High Hockey Lab.
Live from Spectrum Community Services Studios in Colorado, USA. This is the Mile High Hockey Lab.
Hello and welcome to the Mile High Hockey Lab. My name is Adrian Hernandez. I am here today with Ezra Parter, Brennan Vogt, Evan Liu, and Jackie K is also in the virtual building. And we're here to talk about the Colorado Avalanche with some wonderful news today, / some hectic endeavors in order to retrieve such wonderful news. And there's hockey tonight. So we got lots to talk about. I'm really excited. Thank you to the four of you for joining. Thank you to those of you out there online who are tuned in live right now. We really appreciate you. Please head on over to the website, milehighhockey.com, where you can find all of our written material to include previews, recaps, opinion pieces, deep dives, stuff like that. You know, us Avalanche nerds, the things that we might be talking or writing about. That's what you will find on the website. Be sure to also subscribe and follow us on your preferred podcast platform, as this is our 116th episode of the Mile High Hockey Lab. We are moving and grooving through the season. We got a game tonight, a rematch with the Mammoth. We've got some games ahead this week with Carolina, Boston, and New Jersey. We'll touch on that. And of course, the Nordiques Jersey drop. That's where we'll start, along with the wins over Boston and Columbus over the last week since our last show. All right, that was a mouthful, but let's just start talking hockey. I'm really excited. I don't have a Nordiques jersey with me yet, but I did order one online. I was one of the lucky few who
I should have brought down my reverse retro.
Yeah, I was one of the lucky few who got in and was able to secure the bag, so to speak. But Evan, what are your thoughts on the new Nordiques jerseys, and also touch on the victories that have happened since our last episode?
Yeah, I'll save my jersey thoughts for last because I think they're going to be opposite of what other people thought.
Okay, I like it.
And the games were great. I didn't get to watch a ton of Saturday's game. Thursday's game, I didn't get to watch a ton of either. I was definitely not in class watching the game. Definitely not. But at least from what I've seen and read, those are the two most complete games that we've kind of seen so far to start the year for the Avalanche, which is great. Still, I guess, power play concerns. Those are becoming, I would say, at least for me personally, a little more worrisome. I remember saying, don't be surprised if they start slow. Still not surprised they started slow, but if it keeps going, then I'll be a little more concerned. So that's growing a little bit, but I mean, it doesn't detract from the fact that this Avalanche team is 5-0-1. Like,
yeah,
they're still one of the last, if not at this point the last. I don't know. Vegas still is not lost in regulation, but I mean, they're one of the last to not lose in regulation. And the one loss, it came against Dallas in another sort of heartbreaking fashion. It's still like, this is a very good start to the year. When you think about last year and they started 0-4, it wasn't pretty. Like, this is very different than last year, and I'm happy with that. Yeah. As for the jerseys, I'm opposite with everybody of the fact that, like, this rollout was really bad.
Well,
Shocking.
duh.
What the point of marketing is. I'm just it built up the hype.
You're saying. No news, like the whole no news is bad news kind of thing. Like,
sure, yeah.
Any dialogue around this is good, essentially.
Yeah, it's been something that's been teased for months now, I guess, at this point. But it got people talking, and people still open up their wallets anyway. So I mean, it worked. What do you
Yeah.
what do you say? It sold out in like 30 minutes or something like that.
I think it was less. I think the
4 or
'cause
actually
it-
6 minutes is because
Yeah,
I
because
refreshed. I
as we
refreshed
talked
the
about-
Altitude Authentic site at 6 minutes after 10, and all the Landeskog jerseys were gone.
they were gone. Well, and we talked about that they're tiered in terms of how each jersey is kind of built, and that's why the price points vary. There's like 3 or 4 price points kind of, because there's the breakaway, there's the authentic, and then there's like the pro authentic. I think I'm
looking
screwing
at premium, which is
premium.
the
That's what they
step
call
below.
it, yeah.
That's the step below the
Authentic.
Yeah, the authentic, like on ice version.
Which
Yeah,
doesn't
those ones
really
sold
exist.
out in like 3 minutes. The authentic ones sold out obviously the fastest because they have the IMA on them and they have the captains and
Listen,
assistant captain patches.
all I'm saying is that it worked. People got talking and they still bought it. Like,
Sure.
I know there were frustrations around that, but like it still worked. And they were going to come out eventually. Was the process maybe not done as proper or as fast maybe as it could have been to other people's liking? Sure, but like the process worked.
Well, the
As
difference is
Shut up, vaguely.
As for the process,
There's-
or not as for the process, as for the jerseys themselves, I didn't think it would be just a blank Nordiques jersey, but it is, which is fine. Maybe this is me because I was obviously not around when the Nordiques were around. It just didn't quite hit the same as like the reverse retros did a couple years ago. Like those jerseys are awesome. They incorporated like something like that would have been cool, but I understand it. Maybe it's just not for me. I'm also just a broke college student, so I was never going to be able to afford a $300 hockey jersey. But that's besides the point. So it would still be a good Christmas gift, mom, dad, girlfriend.
If you're listening.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm curious, Jackie, what your follow-up is to that, because I posed the question on X, like, who else is kind of let down or think the Avs botched this rollout? And I think that they did in one way, which is like a business way, which is that they don't have the supply. I don't think they ever would have the supply to truly meet demand, because I think there's a high demand for this sort of product. But it feels like when you sell out online in less than 10 minutes, that maybe you could have had a little bit more supply for that first wave. And a lot of people have brought some pretty reasonable things to the equation, like supply chain, stuff like that, and how advertising works with a sponsor like IMA and all that stuff. But where are you at on how the Avalanche kind of rolled out this product in general, Jackie?
First of all, can you all hear me? Yes, no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah.
Look, I get marketing. There's a difference between teasing and lying. So we all understand that's what social media and what marketing does, is teasing. There's the coming soon type of stuff, things like that. When you say this jersey will be on the ice tonight, literally saying the word tonight, and you don't do it,
Yeah.
that's where you start to lose that sort of brand credibility with your fans. Now, of course, fans were going to buy it regardless, and we saw that. But I do think it damages the brand. And like we've seen, it's not just one thing. There's things that they constantly do over and over and over again that are damaging their credibility. You know, the Rams debacle. We have the lying about Blackwood surgery. You know, it goes on and on. These things happen all the time. And so I don't
think they lied about Blackwood surgery. They just failed to tell anyone.
Does that work in anybody's real life? Just not saying the truth count
Try that with your
telling the
wife,
truth?
Brennan.
Yeah,
Try that with your wife and
exactly.
see what happens.
So I just want to make it clear, that's the difference between why the frustrations with this is that they don't have the credibility and the brand capital to just outright lie to fans. Now, as far as supply and demand, we'll see. I kind of don't believe that it's just all sold out. I think maybe they're kind of creating a little bit of that themselves.
Sure.
But
tension equals demand. Sure.
But sure, if it's truly was a limited quantity, and what you tell people that this morning, like, oh, go down there, you know, people do have jobs and lives and responsibilities, and yeah, it's not fair to those people. that you don't even get a chance, that you can't even plan for it. But like I said, we'll see just how sold out it really is. But also to Evan's point, it's not a new jersey.
No,
I
it's not.
literally have that jersey in my closet.
I have one behind me right now.
Yeah,
So
but they're not current players. Is the big deal?
sure, but mine's blank, and I could go get it turned into a Landeskog if I want. Now I understand why fans are excited to see the current players wearing them, and I think that's cool. But we're
That's
talking
awesome.
we're talking about buying the jersey that existed, buying the jersey that was in the store when I was at Ball Arena 2 weeks ago. Like, they sold them. They have been selling them, and they will continue to sell them. Now, I don't know if you know the whole like, are these are the Fanatics ones? Were those Fanatics? I don't know. I didn't look that close.
They're Mitchell and Ness. So they
But
are different.
To some people, that's better. To other people, they want the Fanatics because the players are going to wear Fanatics.
I'm one of those people that thinks Mitchell and Ness is a little better, just style-wise, baby. I ain't wearing it on the ice. You know what I mean?
Sure. So yes,
I
there's a
want to
difference of
preface.
opinion there, but the frenzy to get a jersey that already exists is a little funny to me. I understand the excitement, but the running out to getting a jersey that you could have already had and you probably will be able to get.
Yeah.
Like I said, we'll see how it plays out, the whole stock, the supply and demand. I understand that the previous Nordiques Reverse Retro, that was truly a collector's item and a reason why people would be a little urgent to go get it.
I think that's a good point. Yeah, like that's the difference, was like this Nordiques jersey doesn't feel like it is unique in the sense that you'll get a new player on it, a current player. But as you've mentioned, like it's not unique in terms of a product that feels like a collector's item. It feels more like a third jersey, like the dark blues that are behind Ezra right now. And those sort of things to me should be made more readily available than I feel like they were today. And I think this is such a good thing, a cool thing that the Avalanche are doing. And they could have just given it to us on a silver platter and let us build the steam as it was rolled out. And it feels more like they kind of played the game. And I think that's where fans are kind of rubbed wrong. Because, Evan, you're not wrong. It's working. Here we are spending the first 12 minutes of our show talking about the rollout of the Nordiques jersey. So it's working. But sometimes you want something to work for the right reason as well as work. And I feel like right now it's working kind of in a way that does kind of go against the trust that you have built between a brand and a consumer, which this is all like a deep business dive. We sound like a finance podcast right now. It's amazing. But you know,
I have a history degree, no finance mode.
Those things matter, though. I think those things do matter. But I do want to talk a little bit about hockey too. Ezra, you called Boston last week. You called Boston Dallas Light. And my goodness, that's exactly how it played out. It felt just like Dallas Light. You haven't changed your opinion. I feel like that nomenclature was confirmed. And then, give your thoughts on the rollout of the brand, the Nordiques jerseys.
Yeah, I mean, I think Dallas Light still applies for sure. Boston played a very conservative game. Dallas is a little more into getting up and down the ice than Boston, just because they have the horses to do it. And Boston has one in Pasternak and maybe another in Morgan Geekie, but that's about it. So, that's the game they have to play to win. And it almost worked for a while. It looked like it was. And then, I mean, specifically in the first period when they kept it close. And then Colorado just dominated that second period. Boston had two shots on goal the entire period. That's the kind of game that, you can put a lot of the blame for what happened there on Boston, but a lot of the credit has to go to Colorado too. They played so well. It was wonderful. And with a couple of power play goals, it would have been a big lead. But I like that they were trying things on the power play there too. But let me touch on the jerseys really quick. I don't care about them at all.
For those of you that do, I just want to say they are available on NHL Shop. I know
the smaller versions are, because I already looked for the Landeskog and they've only got like 42, 44, and 46.
That's a clip. That's getting clipped. Hope you're ready for the steam that comes with that clip because that was great. Well, Brendan, the one thing that will be cool, and Ezra, maybe you can agree with this at least, is seeing the Nordiques play the Whalers, aka the Avs play the Carolina Hurricanes. That'll
That
be
is cool.
kind of
No,
a reverse. That is not reverse retro. That's just straight
No.
up retro, Brendan. What do you
no,
think?
no. You got it wrong, guys. I'm looking at a different game than that.
Montreal.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
gonna be cool.
Battle
Because
of
that was the
Quebec.
old rival, right? Yeah.
Yes, Battle of Quebec on November 29th. And
But
that's
they won't
that
do
day.
it in Montreal.
No, it isn't. It's here. It's here.
Yeah.
But it's that game that's during the day at 1 o'clock, and
Yep.
then DU plays that night in Ball
Mhm.
Arena too against Minnesota. So it's two throwback games the same day in Ball Arena.
Yeah, I actually want to read out that full schedule because they're calling it the Heritage Series, right? And this is all of the games that the Avs will wear Nordiques jerseys. There's home and away games, so that's cool. I actually think there's just one away game, which is the Nordiques game on the Carolina Hurricanes, aka Hartford Whalers game, January 3rd. We start October 23rd, coming up here on Thursday, I believe, if I'm not counting wrong. And then they play Montreal in Colorado, November 29th. January 3rd, as mentioned, against Carolina. They're going to wear them against Toronto, so that'll be another cool one. Penguins versus Nordiques. I bet the Penguins wear their retros that they just rolled out day one of the season, which, to Jackie's point, are jerseys that they already had too, and they were way more nonchalant about it. And then also, of course, Vancouver. And then the weird one to me is Vegas, but I guess that's just like a reverse retro rematch. So I wonder if we see a weird third from Vegas even that day, because it feels like everyone should be able to play along with the whole retro vibe. Brandon, what do you think about kind of playing into those matchups? I mean, you already say you love the Habs one. What about
Well,
Toronto? Are you excited
I mean,
for that
I'm
one
all
too?
about the history, considering the Battle of Quebec was, one of the biggest battles during the 80s and the 90s. They were 160 miles apart. Come on.
Yeah.
They were literally battling against each other for the title of Quebec, and they're one of the bloodiest games that were played during the 80s, especially in 1984. But they played each other 5 times during the playoffs. Come on, guys.
Mm-hmm.
How are we not looking forward to this? I'm looking forward to that more than I am the Whalers games. So that's just me personally. That and the Habs are fun this year. So
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
They are. They are. That
I'd
should be a
rather watch
fun
a
game.
Habs game than a Carolina Hurricanes game any day.
yeah, you gotta love the Oompa Loompa on the bench over with St. Louis.
The Oompa Loompa.
Should it
that's
have really
hilarious.
taken them this long to do the Nordiques? I mean, it's been a long
Right.
time.
It could have
Well-
happened sooner, but I dig it. I mean, here we are. It's happening.
I'm all about touching into history in some way. I was with the reverse retro and was so ticked off when I didn't get it, and then my wife surprised me on Christmas with it. So
Yeah.
to say
Another hint.
That's nice.
yeah. So if you're watching, get me a jersey. No, she was
that's
home
hilarious.
at the time when it released, so I know she wasn't doing it. So
Sure.
It could be on their 3rd or 4th or 5th release. You never know.
Yeah. They'll
that's
keep
assuming that they do another rollout, because with the old one that with the original reverse retro 1.0, they didn't. This was the only release, and then that was it.
Yeah.
But
I
also
think-
the reverse retro was a league-wide thing. So it
Yeah.
could have
Yeah.
been sort of a set sort of quantity or whatever for that.
Sure.
With this, it's like they have to have a clue. And the other thing is they had them hanging in the store. Now, like we said, maybe it was the other manufacturer or whatever, but what are you going to do? Just not sell those and then put up the old Sakic and Forsbergs again? Like, you have to have a plan for this.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Oh,
not like
and-
they're not going to be there. They were sold 2 weeks ago. They're going to continue to be sold whether or not it's these exact ones. So it would be pretty silly to just have this is
Well, that's
it. Like,
my-
it's not going to be it. They're still going to
That's
be
my-
there.
That's my business brain tells me, like, you want to have more of the highest price point product, especially when demand is this high. And I know
Yeah.
that that's like icky or whatever because it talks about profit, but at the end of the day, they're a business, and like we're talking about a team who we spent some of the offseason talking about where they practice and train. You know, in terms of that facility, we've been told they're going to break ground on new facilities, and they have plans for that. So it's like this Avalanche team and this business could use some income, and I feel like the end game should have been to maximize that, which maybe would have been interpreted exactly like that and in a negative light in and of itself. But I do think it's something to consider
I think it'd
when
be
you have
fine.
contracts and stuff too that you have to pay for, like Kale McCarr coming up, which a little cash won't hurt, right? So I don't know. You just have to maximize these opportunities, just in my humble opinion.
And they've shied away from it. Like, how long were people begging for anything different than the Unipron, and they wouldn't do it? Like, people were begging, make another jersey and we'll buy it. They hardly ever change the alternates. You know, this is the first time they've ever done the heritage jersey. You know, the reverse retro was a league-wide thing, so it wasn't like the Avs decided to do it. Everyone was doing it. So they've left a lot of money on the table over years because they don't want to get into making these jerseys. I like having something different. I mean, we're watching this team
Cool.
82
Yeah.
times a year. Let's look at something different every once in a while. So I like the novelty of it. I like having specialties or whatever. But if the Avs are trying to make money, then they still don't have a clue that people want to buy jerseys, and they could do specialty things a lot more often.
Well,
Yeah.
and to add on to that, I mean, as much as I love the jersey hanging behind Ezra, it's been 10 years. We need to get a new one.
I still like it, but
That's the only
I-
jersey I
I-
ever wanted.
I know,
yeah,
but
I still
mean,
like it. I
it-
wear
Yeah.
9 times out of 10 when I go to a game, I wear that jersey.
I know,
I like
but
that
I'm just
blue.
saying how often are the third jerseys switched out for most teams, and this one has been around for a decade now.
But yes, it's true. They don't change them out.
Yeah,
They don't want to
and-
design another one.
Yeah, that's the problem. And I would be more than happy to buy a new one, which I do have it on good authority that a new reverse retro is coming next year. So
Ooh.
But I think that's
start saving your guys'
league-wide
money.
thing. Yeah.
Save them again, because if them contracts are inflating, so are jersey prices,
right?
boys and girls. Well, I do want to talk a little bit about the hockey. I know we're all excited and we all have our opinion about the Nordiques thing. I'll just wrap it up by saying this, and obviously this doesn't mean we can't touch on it more in the show, but I'll say it's at least something new, to Jackie's point, and that's we can't complain too much about getting something new, something fresh, something to be excited about with this Avalanche team. I think that's really cool. And alongside a team that is playing very well in a condensed October schedule. Obviously, we've talked about them not having a regulation loss yet, and they looked like a really good team in both of the second periods of the Columbus game and the Boston game. Is there something to that trend? And with this condensed schedule, I'm going to send this one to you, Jackie. With this condensed schedule, do you see guys like McKinnon and Natchez, that whole top line, Lehkonen, do you see them staying on hot streaks given that there's more games in a shorter amount of time?
Has it really been that condensed late? Like I know they're going to go into a little busy stretch here, but then they have a lot of days off.
I think in general, at league wide, they're all kind of condensed because of the Olympics.
Because of the Olympics, yeah. I don't know if it's quite been different enough to say that.
It's about to be when we go to Boston and New Jersey.
Sure, yeah, it's going to be busy the upcoming week for sure. I've just been looking at the schedule like the beginning of November. It's pretty barren. But anyway, yeah, sure. If you're hot, you want to play. I agree with that. It's interesting. It is that top line is carrying the team right now, and Wedgwood. Wedgwood's playing really well. So I'd say those two things. You could say the penalty kill, is that more of a function of Wedgwood? Is that more of a function of early season where a lot of power plays aren't clicking yet? Probably some of all three reasons. But the top line really is carrying the team. And of course, you want to have your most talented players But I think if you kind of looking under the hood, there is the power play concern, and then there's the secondary scoring concern, which I think, I'm always going to say that when the top line isn't hot anymore, that's when you need somebody else to score goals. But I know we're not there yet. Let's celebrate the top lines being amazing, and who knows? They could stay hot for the rest of the month. Who knows?
Yeah.
And with the power play, I do think there are legitimate concerns. It's not just like small sample size, blah blah blah. Like they're still, I think they're 30th in the league in expected goals per 60. Now they're actually converting under their expected goals, so they probably are due for a couple, which will probably happen. But can they pull it all the way up to where it should be? So we'll see about that.
Yeah, I think that's a good observation in terms of kind of how things are going on the power play, because like we talked a lot about the power play on the last episode, and I got a little carried away, but I still feel the way I feel in terms of scoring actually on the power play. But I think you're right. Like this whole episode so far, I've been trying to train myself to apply the same logic, but on the other side. So is the power play struggling? Yes, but the Avs are also 5-0-1, so that means they've been really good 5-on-5, and that is a positive thing. And I view a lot of what we are looking at with the spotlight in terms of negativity with the Avalanche as something that you can look at in a different way. Are the Avalanche top heavy right now with 27 points from their top line in 6 games? Absolutely. But that is incredible. That shows a ton of ceiling. Like, and to feel like that production is happening in a time frame where they could possibly get even better, as they've still only been a full line for 6 whole games, and it's working like it is now. That to me is kind of like, whoa, that's a positive. Sure, we want supplemental scoring from these other guys. That'll come in time, I think. We even saw, I might get a ding later because the second line contributed finally to the tune of a 4-point night, baby. So Nichushkin gets his 2 goals against Columbus. That's exciting, right? Nelson, he's involved. Landeskog, he's involved. So there are some positive trends as well that I think we need to shed light on, because this team, it looks really good. And I think they're doing themselves slightly a disservice because my expectations are going up quickly in a very short amount of time, because just because how good they are playing. I think that's a positive thing. But Ezra, I'm curious what you thought about, the second period stuff. Like, what is it about the second period for the Avalanche right now?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of the Avs come out a little bit slow at the beginning of the first period, and they ramp up their play through the first period, and then they go into the room, they make little adjustments, and they put their foot on the gas at the beginning of the second period. And that's a great trend. If that's how you play night in, night out, then you're setting yourself up to win, I think, because that second period is a time when the game breaks one way or the other quite often. I really do think it's little adjustments in the locker room that are we haven't necessarily talked about Jared Bednar's adjustments in a positive light over the last couple of years. It's not something that he often does, but I really think that what we're seeing is, okay, here's how they're stopping us from getting through the neutral zone. Here's how we're going to break it. Because they're getting through the neutral zone at a crazy pace this year, especially that first line. That top line is incredible right now. The movement, the little touch passes through the neutral zone that we're seeing, people just stopping pucks for each other and then continuing on their route somewhere else. It's like, it's different. It's different. And it gets better every game, I think, especially in those second periods when they're like, okay, again, this is what they're doing to try and stop us. Here's how we get around it. And they're getting around it. I also think, going back to the conversation a little bit earlier about the production from secondary scoring and the top line is the one line that has no new pieces this season, right? So they are the most familiar with each other of any unit. Power play, penalty kill, all of it. They're the one unit that's, I'm leaving the defense out because obviously we know there's some stability at the top there too. Yeah. But and I think it shows, because not only are they comfortable with each other, they're adding new wrinkles to what they were doing last year, especially through the neutral zone, like Jerry touched on. And I think as the other units get more time, I don't mean to be making excuses for everybody else, but as the other units get more time together, they're going to find a way to feel that comfort and also add little nuances like the top line is doing, and hopefully that leads to more production.
Yeah, man, that would be awesome to see kind of like a trickle down, because man, they're getting shown what works. And I get the skill set is different from the first line to the fourth line, but
Yeah.
it is a process thing too. That's why it looks so pretty, because these are really fast, really talented guys who've bought into a system, and they're using all of those skills and abilities to accentuate that system. That's why it looks so flowy and natural. And I think that there are examples to look at in all of that from the rest of the roster. That's a really good point. And you brought up too, Ezra, that, you know, if they're scoring on the power plays, these 4-1 games are 6-1 games. Brennan, is that how you see it too? Like, is that what we're talking about here? Like, really, this is a good team that could be even better when you look at the power play woes.
I'm watching the practice. What was it, yesterday? Day before, I can't remember. They're all blurring together, but I mean the power plays, they're moving well. They're moving better than they were last year.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot more movement as in terms of the players around the ice. They're getting more shots off. It's just they're not getting through. Even on Blackwood during practice, they weren't getting through for some reason. I don't know what it is. It's just the shots aren't there. So it's not just the fact that the Avalanche aren't able to score. They're just not able to even score on injured goalies.
Yeah. But to Jackie's point about the metrics, they're kind of due, right, Jackie?
Oh,
Well, I mean, they're creating
they're
creating at the rate of 30th in the league, but they're converting even less than that. So
Yeah.
what I'm saying is they're due for a little something.
Sure.
But they're going to have
the
to
same logic we provide.
increase.
We apply to good shooting percentages, right? Like, this sort of thing isn't sustainable either, right?
Well,
Kind of.
that's what I say about the expected goals per 60 is like that's what they deserve. That's what they're earning. That's what they're creating.
Gotcha.
So they are converting even less than that. So
Gotcha,
that
okay.
means that as of the last couple games, now they're a little under. Now they deserve a little bit more than what they're getting. But if they truly wanted to get back on track, they have to create more. So this team has always shot. This team's always had a higher shooting percentage, which is fine. That's just who they are. But like last year, they leaned a lot on, like I said, Kale shot 20% on the power play. I still think the not having Mikko is a big factor in the power play. Like if you want to say, well, NHS is picking up the slack 5-on-5 at the top line, okay, but on the power play, I think that's where you can't just say, oh well, you know, it'll just be as good as it always was, because no, you don't have the same personnel on it now. So I don't think you can just default to that. They obviously have more talent than 30th in the league. I don't think that's going to continue, but are they going to be a top 10 power play? I don't know. I think that's the unknown part.
Yeah. I think they have capability.
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, Ezra.
Yeah. I think we saw in the Boston game, they tried some adjustments. They brought Olofsson to the top unit. They moved Nelson from a shooting position to a passing position, which I think, you know, we definitely Adrian, but all of us have been calling for. And I think that it's important to note that they're also seeing like, oh, okay, this is a slow start, but it's also like maybe a problem because they're making adjustments, which is good. We want them to make adjustments. And I think it's inevitable that the process is going to improve because they're finding the right pieces to do it and they have the tools. I mean, this might be sacrilegious, but I like Nature's better than Rantanen at 5-on-5 right now. But on the power play, there's no question. They had a fail safe. This guy can put the puck in from anywhere at any time. Let's just throw a puck towards him and see what happens. And he'll go to a knee and put it in. He'll fire a one-timer and put it in. That's a tool that they don't have right now. And they're trying to see if Olofsson can be that. He's obviously not going to be Rantanen, but if he can be a version of that, it's going to be a big help.
If he can be just that one piece, that straight sharp shooter from anywhere piece, which is highly rare, even if it's like a portion of that, though, you're right. Like it just does so much for McKinnon for him to be able to just be like, oh, you're gonna come at me now, flip, cross the ice, whoever it is. I think Olofsson does have that skill set. I really do.
Yeah, he
I
brings
definitely
the
think
outside shot, and Nelson brings the inside finishing. That's Rantanen in the aggregate.
I would definitely
not
put
quite.
Nelson on the second unit. Like I don't see that he's.
I want Val on the top power play, and I don't know
Yeah,
if that's
I
crazy,
I missed
but I
that.
do.
I like
Yeah.
that too. I think it's funny sometimes when power plays in a rut, the second unit kind of gets a goal. It's funny. The second unit tends to get a goal and kind of gets them going. So I also wish they would stop defaulting to just running out the first unit the whole time, especially when we're in a rut. If it's hot, then yeah, keep them on the ice. But
I think,
I think
I think
sometimes
in
the
theory
second
that's
unit can
good.
bring them
Not
out.
this second unit right now.
Yeah,
They
well,
keep it
I
in the
was just
zone.
well, that and like it's easy to say, and it's another thing to look Nathan McKinnon in the eyes, and he's like, dude, I'm not even freaking tired, and we have a power play. Why are you bringing me off the ice?
Hey, I'm just saying, it's about the team and it's about everybody scoring, and you're gonna need that to win at some point. Like right now, it doesn't seem like it. You just roll out McKinnon and Natchez and McCarr, and you get enough goals to win. But at some point, that's not gonna be the case.
Yeah, we
Well,
might see.
they really need to add Brad Marchand
to
the power play.
Hey, I was literally about to feed you your Brad Marchand moment. I was gonna build it into the show, and you just jumped the gun.
Wasted it. Just wasted
You
it.
just jumped the gun.
I'll do it again. Do it
How
again.
dare you? Well, in that case, Evan, I want to ask you a question rather than Brendan, since he freaking blew it. Brendan, we'll come back to it. Maybe you'll land it next time. Evan, we will get a glimpse of the Nordiques jersey coming up in the game against Carolina. Don't worry, we'll talk about the Mammoth game last. That's tonight. But that Carolina game, like, they pose as a real contender for the Stanley Cup. They have kind of for some years. And they seem poised to do it again this year. What are you kind of keying on in that matchup? What are you excited about?
Yeah, Avs and Kings that's always a popular pick for like a Stanley Cup final matchup. I think there's usually at least a few every year that say that that's a matchup, and it always could be. But at least in this game, I think you're looking for Colorado to kind of keep that momentum going, like we've seen the last little while, especially against Eastern Conference teams, like we saw with Boston and Columbus, all that sort of stuff. I think Carolina is sort of at a different level than those two are. And that's obviously kind of big to match that, right? I guess you won't see any former Avs, I guess, in that matchup, but like Natchez will play his old team again for the first time. So will Drury, seeing what those two can create if there's any sort of special former Canes that can score against their team, since former Avs like to score against the Avs, even though that wasn't the case this week and it bit me in the butt. But yeah, you just like to keep the momentum going. It's been good. 5-0-1, keep riding the wave, seeing how long it can go. Especially, as you go in to the back-to-back out east, kind of with me out here in Boston and New Jersey. You got the 2 afternoon matinees back-to-back. That'll be tough, especially, kind of taking Jackie's mentality of the reverse matchup. Beat Boston. Can they do the same on their own home ice, whatever that looks like. So just keep riding the wave. Just keep doing what you're doing. Sprinkle in a couple power play goals. I like the chances of Colorado.
For me with Carolina, I'm just looking at, because Carolina is such a puck possession team as well, to really see who wins that battle between the Avs and Carolina with the puck possession, because they're probably two of the best at it right now. And so to me, that's kind of a little, who's going to kind of win that tug of war.
Yeah, they do have a similar style, even in speed and stuff too, which is coinky dink that trade worked out the way it did. I won't give away my bold prediction, but Evan, I will say that what you just talked about in terms of former Hurricanes applies to my bold prediction that's coming up. But Brennan, there's also another rematch, kind of like the Mammoth game coming up tonight against the Bruins this weekend on Saturday. And yes, Brennan, the Bruins no longer have
Brad Marchand.
Beautiful, you did it. That was honestly one of the more impressive wins for Colorado this past week as well. what can they do in Boston to replicate that? And do you see the potential for a repeat performance, or is this like one of those rules like Jackie brings up where the second game always goes to whoever lost the first?
Stick with the hot hand,
Yeah.
Wedgwood. Even if he's healthy, I say stick with the hot hand. Stay with Wedgwood. Shut down the neutral zone. They were doing a great job of doing that during the Boston game with only allowing 2 shots on goal in the second period. When was the last time we can recall that the Avs allowed only 2 shots on goal against a team that wasn't like Arizona?
Yeah. 2022, probably, because they were historically good at limiting shots that season.
Exactly. So it's been a while since that something like that, or Buffalo. No, even Buffalo had a lot of shots on goal. It's just they're amazingly good at being bad. Right, Evan? Because you were at that game.
I mean, listen, that game though was, I mean, the Avs started slow and then they came out with it. So whatever.
Yeah.
And then
are you becoming a
Sabres
fan?
Beat Florida, so yeah,
we're gonna find you writing for a Sabres site under an
Listen,
alias.
I wouldn't call myself a Sabres fan. I enjoy the Sabres. I have nothing wrong with the Sabres. I think I've said it before. Pre-moving out here was like, I got no problem with the Sabres. If I had to root for an Eastern Conference team,
you did. Yeah,
fun. It would.
I've watched my fair share of Sabres games. I could give you some analysis.
Plus they know how to poke the bear with Brad and how he ripped the ear guards off of Darlene's helmet.
Oh yeah.
Oh god, that was amazing.
You know what
Loved
else was
it.
amazing? Florida got shut out by Buffalo that game.
Yeah. I don't care. That was glorious by Brad.
That's right. You and Jackie were going at it in the Slack chat.
Yep. I was like, he is my spirit animal. You know how many times I've wanted to do something like that during a game and just rip the person's helmet off and be like, here, take it back.
Oh man. Well, we've covered Boston. We've covered Carolina. The only game probably between now and our next episode, besides tonight's, is the Devils, Ezra. What do you see in that game? The Devils are kind of sort of an anomaly. I feel like they probably had higher hopes last season than things sorted out. But they feel like they have maybe turned the page this year, at least so far. Where are you at on them?
Yeah, they're off to a really hot start. They managed to piece together a bunch of wins with Jake Allen in net because Jacob Markstrom is out. And Allen's always been a goalie who can be great when he's on, and then just he turns off, unfortunately. So we'll have to hope he turns off for Colorado. Let us get to an easy win. But even if he doesn't, I mean, they're also a beatable team because they do rely on speed and transition. They play a very fast-paced game, and they play a very reckless offensive game. In my opinion, they don't shore up their defense too well, and they are counting on Jake Allen to make a lot of saves. And, you know, frankly, their competition is not Colorado. They've beaten some good teams. I don't remember exactly, but I was looking at it earlier. They've beaten some good teams. They've beaten some bad teams.
We've beaten Florida and Tampa.
Yeah, thank you. Exactly. So they've beaten teams that we expect to be good, but maybe don't have the top end of a Nathan McKinnon, Cale Makar shooting the puck at him, Martin Necas, whoever else. But it's going to come down to that puck control battle there too, because like I said, they're getting up and down in transition. They're making a lot of speed. They're making speed a big part of their offense. And if Colorado has the puck, then that neutralizes that. So we'll see who is able to outpossess who in that one as well.
I feel like a big factor with New Jersey isn't Jack Hughes healthy right now?
Yes.
Yeah. So I feel like when the Avs have played, I think they have played him, but a lot of times when they have seen New Jersey, he's been out. So I think he does make them a much more dangerous team. So that's what I'm looking for. Yeah. It's just I don't really look at the standings until the teams have played 10 games. So I really don't know what any of these teams' records are. I don't think it's worth it to look right now. But so I think New Jersey has had some tough games with the Avs in the last few years. So something about them does tend to close games. So, like I said, we'll see what difference Jack Hughes makes when they play them.
Well,
Yeah.
and Timo Meyer, both Dawson Mercer have a point per game average right now, so they're kind of standing out too.
And their defense is healthy as well. Dougie Hamilton's back. Luke Hughes is in the lineup.
Yeah.
His big new contract.
So
There's a lot
they're
there.
they're fixing on trying to be a playoff team and beyond. And
Well, and they
it's kind
just
of
missed
crazy.
last year, if I remember
Yeah.
correctly.
It's kind of crazy because it feels like the Rangers are going in the exact opposite direction. And they felt like a possible perennial powerhouse until they handed over the farm, and now they are just on the decline. So it'll be nice to get out east again for the Avalanche too on a nice little road trip. Be interesting to see if the young guys continue to travel with the team as those road trips come and go. As we've talked about with Gavin Brindley and Zakhar Bardakov, who should both be playing tonight, if I'm not mistaken, Jackie, with Kiwi Ranta still on the mend. Let's talk about tonight's matchup, Jackie. Last week, as I've mentioned before, you talked about the Mammoth maybe having potential to exact some revenge, as typically the trend suits the team who lost the first matchup in a quick turnaround rematch. Are you still feeling like that? And where are we at on puck possession against the Mammoth?
Yeah, I'll always feel that way, where a pretty close rematch tends to go to the opposite team. The other thing is we have 3 rematches coming up: Utah, Boston, and then the New Jersey's a home and home. So each of the next basically 3 matchups are this. So we can have we'll have a lot of examples to see if this comes true or not. I mean, we don't want that because, the Avs are definitely playing like better than a 500 team right now. So, but we'll see. We'll see if the rematch gives them any trouble coming in the near future. As far as the Mammoth, I don't know. Like I said, I really don't check on how teams are doing analytically or whatever. It's too early. But I expect the Avs to, well, it's interesting because that was probably the worst game they played was against the Mammoth.
Yeah.
So can you say, was that just an outlier? Was it because Utah was doing something that posed them more of an issue than any other team, I guess, except for Dallas has? So I'm kind of looking for that. Is it going to be an easier time for them? Are they just going to, like we've seen, maybe a little bit of a slow start, but really turn it on the second? Or is it going to look more like the game at Ball Arena where it was kind of more difficult for the whole game? So we'll see about that. I think that's probably the most interesting part of this game is just that, do the Avs still struggle a little bit, or do they turn it on like they have in the last few games?
Yeah, I think like that is a good assessment. Like the Avs won that game a lot like Dallas beat the Avs in overtime, which was they took advantage of very limited opportunities. McKinnon's goal to put them up 2-1 in the first matchup against the Mammoth kind of just came on a McKinnon will play. And that's good for the Avalanche because you're going to have to find a way to win on nights where you don't have it. But I worry about like just the setting itself. Like the Avs had tough time at Mullet Arena, and I'm not comparing Delta Center to Mullet Arena because I know there's levels to it, but the Delta Center is a little weird too because it's renovated. It's not outfitted to be a hockey stadium. Like the stands in each end are at a crazy steep grade. So like just optically, it'll just feel different inside of that arena than like a typical NHL game. And I know for a fact, like a lot of the guys like McKinnon and McCarr, like they really get up for games in the Saddle Dome and at MSG and in Toronto at the Bell Center, yada, yada. This one, I don't know if it holds that mystique because it's unique, but we'll see kind of how that goes. And I'm curious to see as well, like, is it a kind of a slow game? The Mammoth have won 3 straight. So Evan, tell me, like, are you worried about the setting, or do you think it's just a non factor?
The setting, no. I think Utah themselves has had a very good start to the year. I know Nick Schmaltz had a hat trick. Granted, it was against San Jose, but that was, I mean, he's leading the team in points. And I remember years ago saying you have to trade for him, and
yeah, you did.
Hope it doesn't come back to bite him.
And he's on my fantasy team.
I just picked him up for my own fantasy team today too, so I guess we'll see.
I think they knew they were not getting rid of him.
But yeah, like Utah's had a solid start to the year, and you still have Clayton Keller and Logan Cooley. Gunther's had a good start to the year. I know that's a favorite for Jackie, and like Nick says, that Arizona Utah organization has always kind of been a thorn in the side of the Avalanche.
I think
It's
it
kind of been
might
a thing.
become more of a rivalry, don't you think? Like,
That's
like
what I
Yeah.
It
hope.
should.
It should be. I hope. And
Geographically,
it's been-
especially, right?
I was
They're
gonna say
like-
exactly geographically. I remember when they first moved to Utah that I compared it to, for my MLS fans out there, the Colorado Rapids and Real Salt Lake, and we just call them the other team on the other side of the Rocky Mountains because that's just the rivalry, right?
Yeah.
So like I'm not worried about the setting per se. I'm more worried about Utah coming out and having a good start to the year. I think they're third in the Central. I think they're only behind the Avs, and then I'm assuming Dallas is between us. I haven't looked.
And they haven't lost at home.
And they haven't lost at home. So that's it's going to be a good game. It should be a good matchup. This might be, I don't know if it'll be the first true test for the Avalanche. Probably not, just because of the Dallas game. But I mean, it's a good road test for sure. And they'll have to at least get up for it. So.
Yeah, Brendan, Ezra, do you guys have anything to add on the Utah matchup tonight?
No. Other than Nick Schmaltz still needs to score, but unfortunately I've got Wedgwood in net for my fantasy team too. So I'm kind of split on this one.
Yeah, I was going to say something that would help you, but it wouldn't help the Avalanche, so I'm just not going to say it at all.
No, just say it.
No, well, if it's an empty netter, it doesn't go against Wedgwood. So
No, it wouldn't.
Yeah, so but let's hope that the Utah Mammoth aren't scoring any empty netters tonight, because that would.
That's why I have Nathan McKinnon on my fantasy team to score a hat trick tonight. Maybe. Unofficial bold prediction.
Yeah, there we go.
Let's see. I've got Cale Makar, Arturi Lehkonen, Gabe Landeskog, and Val Nichushkin.
We just have to have an episode where we just bring up
fantasy.
Brandon's fantasy team and we do a recap on his season so far and what
Yeah.
he should be doing differently. That would
not draft all the Avalanche.
We should do that in the off season. You know what? I changed my mind. Let's do that in the summer. Maybe.
You know who's available in both mine and my husband's league? Demidov. And I was like, pick him up.
How?
Oh,
that's crazy.
That's crazy.
I don't do fantasy hockey, but even I'm like, Demidov, that guy's a rookie of the year. What are you doing?
Yeah.
I mean, it depends how deep the league is and everything. It's not like every decent player is rostered, but still, I'm like, that guy is in the front runner for the Calder. Maybe we should pick him up.
Yeah. Well, that's a good segue. Let's get into our bold predictions from last week, which, folks, if you don't know, and to Nick and Vaguely Sober, who else is in here? Just the two of you so far. You guys want to plug in your bold predictions right now? Now's the time. We'll get them read on the next part after the sponsor, but we will start by recapping last week's bold predictions, which make your bold prediction. If you're right, you get a ding. If you're wrong, you get a buzzer. And right now we got a scoreboard with Jackie, Ezra, and Brennan all tied with one correct bold prediction.
Yeah, I'm not going to win this one.
Evan, last week you said that a former Avalanche would score on the Colorado Avalanche, and I'm over here trying to bring up the buzzard because you were wrong. You were wrong about that. It didn't happen, and I couldn't be happier about it. Jackie, you said that Kivi Ranta would play on the wing. I think that is just like a season-long one, but you also said Bardakov would play a game, and I believe that he did.
That is true.
So there is a ding for Jackie. And Brendan, you said that Blackwood would get an AHL shutout. We didn't really touch on this, but his loan lasted like a week and he never played a game. So
I think, he lasted Monday through Friday, and he went up to Loveland, practiced, and then came back down. And it's like, dude, you just blew it for me. Come on.
Come on. Don't you know I have a bold prediction, my guy?
Yes.
Ezra, you had a 2-point week for Ilya Solovyov. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. And I don't know either, because when I was looking at his stats to be sure that it didn't happen, I realized that he has 4 total points on his career. So that was a very bold prediction indeed.
4 points in, I think,
I still like it though. I like that
20 games.
Yeah.
I do think he's been good. He's been good for what he's been brought in.
Yeah. Pleasant surprise.
Sure. Bardakov, you also had him having more than 6 penalty minutes. That didn't happen, but
no.
It might tonight.
Yeah.
He didn't
And
like
then-
Utah when he played against them.
No, he didn't. And then I had a 4-point night from the second line, and as previously mentioned, I'm finally on the board, baby. So that makes me feel good.
Thank
But
goodness for that
Jackie-
empty net goal.
Yeah, exactly. I know. I was like, yes, Nichushkin got it.
You
who
got
was it?
2
Who was it?
points on that goal.
Yes,
Real
I
I
did.
think it was.
quick.
I think it was Landeskog's assist as well.
It was. It was.
So Evan Rawl just announced that everyone needs to be in their seats by 7:00 on Thursday night. Brent Burns is getting his honor for the 1500 game. So
Oh, cool. So he'll get the stick. Is it a stick?
it's not going to be a silver stick. I think it's a
That's
gold
1,000.
stick.
Gold stick. Ooh, and then platinum if you get to 2K. That's pretty.
Yeah, I think so. I'm
Yeah, if
not-
anybody gets to that, they should.
Yeah.
The diamond, like diamond encrusted.
Yeah.
right.
So Nick
But
says,
anyways.
I don't know, Ross Colton own goal tonight. LOL. That's how
Own
bad
goal?
this is. Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's
I
bold.
got questioned about my lines when I posted them the other day because Brindley was on the second power play, and everybody's like, not Colton. I'm like, guys, have you watched Colton play recently?
Yeah, it's been a little bit rough. It's been a little
Yeah.
bit rough. Well, let's run our sponsor, and while it runs, you folks think of your bold predictions for this week. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. I have mine all.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
I call that bold talk.
All right, folks. This segment, Bold Predictions, is brought to you by Brews Ale House Brewing Company, a brewery located in Pueblo, Colorado, in the heart of the Riverwalk. They've got some delicious beverages and some delicious food. Please head on over there. I think they also have some drink and food specials during all Avalanche and Nuggets games. So go down there for game day and have a good time. Tonight might be a great night exactly for doing that, for those of you who are watching or listening from Pueblo, Colorado. But let's get right into our bold predictions this week. I kind of been teasing mine, and I always go last and feel kind of dumb for being the guy who always goes last. So I'll just start this time. My bold prediction this week, and Ezra, I see you in the private chat calling me out on a Natchez hat trick, and I swear to God that my actual bold prediction is that Jack Drury will be the one to
Ooh.
score, not Marty Natchez. So this is a double whammy.
A
Marty
hat trick
won't,
or score?
not a hat trick. No. I'm just
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
score a goal. A hat trick would be
Love
like,
that.
dude, oh my goodness. But yeah, I think it'll be Jack Drury who scores a goal. I don't think Natchez will have a goal, but I think he'll have points.
So that means
that's-
you mean tonight specifically, or just this week?
Against
No,
Carolina.
against Carolina in
Carolina.
their
Oh,
rematch
okay.
with their former team. Yeah, so that's my bold prediction this week. I'll write that down and we'll see how it goes. But let's go to you next, Jackie. What do you got for me?
Well, what are we? Before I say it, but it'll be the same either way. But what are the parameters of this week? Are we counting both the New Jersey games or not?
Let's go look real quick.
It's
Oh,
on
the
Tuesday, so that's why I'm asking.
Is it a matinee, the second one?
No, it's
no,
on
it's not.
Tuesday.
So we'll probably get an episode in before the Tuesday game.
Okay,
if
so
we
we're talking
can, yeah.
about 4 games then. Tonight, Carolina, Boston, the first New Jersey game. Okay. I'll say that Wedgwood plays all of them.
Mhm.
Because I know everyone's kind of keying on that back-to-back. Like, that'd be the time to play Blackwood. And if he's really almost ready, then doesn't that make sense? But I'm going to call them on their little bluff here with Blackwood and say that, nope, Wedgwood's just going to play all of them.
Ooh, I like that. Dude, Wedgwood has been so good, and couldn't be happy for a guy who I don't know if you guys saw Mark Mosier just bringing up the receipts from people comments in the trade initial trade comments where people were just like, "Oh my God, what the heck?" And not to say like Anderson can't become a great goalie. But as of right now, like that looks like a really, really good trade for the Colorado Avalanche.
Remember when I said I thought that trade would be more impactful than the Blackwood trade?
I do remember
Mhm.
that. Well, you turned out to be correct so far.
I guess. I mean,
Is this
it
what you
is
meant?
up for debate because Blackwood is the starter. But no, I understand. Like, people believed Annunen was here for 6 years. People believe
Yeah.
that the Avs actually give a crap about their prospect. Like, they wanted to believe that Annunen was one of their guys. So, I mean, sure, Mosier could call people out, but he doesn't understand, like, that's what was underlying it. That was underlying the reaction. It was like, we had this guy and he finally made it to the NHL after 6 years, and now we're just done with him. So I think that was part of the reaction, not like, oh, Wedgwood sucks or whatever. I don't think anybody really thought like, wow, this is terrible, this guy sucks or something like that. It was just more of, we finally got this guy to the NHL and we're just throwing him away. So anyway, that's my thought on that. But
yeah, thank God it hasn't settled like that. Like, it doesn't feel like it was a throwaway trade right now. Right now, it feels like you basically got your like a potential starter. Some people online are like, are saying Blackwood's going to have to earn the goalie spot back. I hate to break it to you folks, he's getting the paper.
I think
So
that's worth discussing. I think we really didn't talk about the goalies. Like I know it's too easy just to say, oh, it's Wedgwood's net, we don't care. Of course not. Like, he's your starter, you have to treat him like that. But do you do more of kind of 1A, 1B? Like, do you really want to take Wedgwood out of the net? I guess we'll see. He has a lot of games coming up. But
I think
maybe that's what I would do.
luxury. I think that's the luxury you're afforded by a guy like Scott Wedgwood playing so well, is that you can have a 1A, 1B, and Blackwood can really take his time in getting back to in a really good place, so that when the playoffs roll around, you have two very good goalies. Because as we found out in 2022, you need that in the playoffs. You really do.
Yeah, frankly, going 1A, 1B should be the goal. Like, that's what every team should want to do, unless you have Shesterkin, and even then, like, give him some rest, you know.
Yeah, I see what Brandon's mad about. Bagley said anything was going to be an upgrade in net. Could have been Brandon over Gorgiev.
What wasn't talking about?
Boys
We're talking about Annanen.
Like, what was that?
Yeah, but okay, I just want to note on that. I was the top U12 goalie in the Denver metro area for when I was playing soccer, and I was a catcher for 4 years. Would be better than you probably think, but anyway,
I'm undefeated as a goalie. I went 2-0.
I mean, I'm undefeated too.
I gave up 24 goals, but I was undefeated.
Well, I'm undefeated too. So I never played.
I guess this is when I don't intrude in this conversation as the soccer goalie who wasn't very good.
I also was a soccer goalie.
Evan, what was your GAA, brother? Have you ever done the computation on that?
I could probably figure it out. It's probably somewhere on Max Preps if I looked hard enough.
Well, I don't want anybody looking into my history, so let's not do that and say we did.
One part of Wedgwood playing well is also he's playing a lot. So I think, like, he'll still be good regardless, but I think you're not going to quite get that level if he's not in the net all the time.
I agree. Like we talked about with the other guys who are hot, like, being active helps you keep your role going. I like that a lot. Ezra, what are you thinking on your bullet prediction this week, my friend?
Man, I really was hoping for Solovyev to make more of an offensive difference. Just I thought it was going to be, you know, a secondary assist on a clearing pass or something.
I still think it's possible.
Yeah, but it didn't happen, and I'm not going to stay with him. I think we're going to see. I'm going to keep it simple, actually. Valeri Nichushkin scores a power play goal.
Okay, I like that.
You know, the power play's having a tough time when we're like, oh yeah, that's plenty bold, my friend.
But he's not even he's not on the first unit, is he?
Yeah,
so
he's on the second unit, but I will take
even bolder.
I like it. I like that.
Well,
I think
I
that's
picked him to
exactly
lead the
what
team
they
in
need
scoring, so
to get it
has
going.
to happen this way.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the way for you, my friend. Brandon, what do you got?
Miner's going to get sit down, and he will get a shutout in his first game against Rockford.
Ooh. All right. I like it.
Chicago's feeder, by the way, for everyone who doesn't know.
And I'm sure you'll get to chat with him once he's back down there, yeah? Trent?
I am going to be looking at a couple other people to talk with because it will be my first time up there. I missed the home opener, unfortunately, because it was not planned. But yeah. Unfortunately, so
that's how life goes sometimes. I got you, brother.
Yeah, it was Savvy, unfortunately, is no longer with Hockey Mountain High, so she had to go in a different personal direction.
Word. Well, that's all right. Good thing you can keep rolling, bro, because I know you are plenty dedicated, my friend. So
Evan's still here, so
yeah, that's right. Well, speaking of Evan, you are the last one to give your bold prediction. What do you got for me?
I'm here barely. It's been a hell of a last 3 weeks. So I'm between two bold predictions here, and I don't know which one I want to go with because one
Give them both.
is give them. Well, to be fair, I'm also behind a good bit, so actually it could either help me or hurt me if I did both.
Sure.
I don't think it would hurt you.
Oh,
What's that?
why
Both,
not?
you got-
Some of us do too sometimes.
Yeah,
so.
let it rain.
Yeah.
To be
Yeah.
fair,
High and let it fly, baby.
to be fair, my last week's bold prediction did involve the Utah game tonight as well, so that could still theoretically happen if you give me the X already. But I just want to put that out there. I'll throw the two out there then, I guess. My one from my head was that we got 4 games this week before our next show, and I feel like that's a good opportunity for the power play to get going. And so I'm going to say that we have 4 power play goals between now and then.
So
So
4 and 4.
4 in the next 4 games, basically.
4 in the next 4 games.
Wow.
It's
Okay.
either going to be 3 or 4. I'm going 4. I'm going bold.
4 and
Once
4
again.
games. Okay.
Sadly, that does feel bold. So
I know.
The Eagles are in the same drought too.
It's due.
So
Like, I feel like it's due. And I also feel like something else that is due that hasn't happened yet this year. It's a Gabe Landeskog goal. That hasn't happened yet.
yeah.
I was surprised by that.
Evan, you read my
I was worried
mind.
about his slow start, but I'm feeling okay about it now. And I'm specifically going to say that he is going to score his first goal in that Carolina game in those Nordiques jerseys.
Ooh.
Wow.
That would, man, that might
That would
be
be
3
nice.
dings. That might be 3 predictions.
Dude, I just got chills.
I might give you a 3-pointer.
Stop it, Evan.
Bang!
So he gets a Landy goal at all, and then a Landy goal in the Carolina game.
No, I'm talking
bonus
Landy,
point. I'll
Landy
give him a
goal
bonus point if it's in
the
Carolina.
Kings
Yeah.
game, specifically.
I'll give him
Oh,
a
well,
If he
against
scores
Carolina.
on the power play, great. That's one for that 4 goal prediction. So
Yeah.
Wearing the blue
That would be-
popsicles, as Vaguely says.
Yeah, the blue popsicles is crazy. Oh man. Well, I feel like did we miss anything today? Have we touched on it all? I don't think
I
we missed
wouldn't say
anything.
much happened. It was a pretty slow
Yeah.
week.
Well, that's all right. That just means we have nothing left to do tonight but watch some Avalanche hockey, and hopefully the Avalanche get a win over the Mammoth, and we see some goals from Nichushkin and all these names that we dropped. It's going to be a fun week ahead of us Avalanche fans with the Avs playing the Carolina, a.k.a. Hartford Whalers, coming up this week in those retro unis. Make sure that you plan accordingly if you are going to an Avalanche game in the near future, because there's been some really weird road closures on the way there. That's a public service announcement. And if we don't have anything else to talk about, I just want to thank all of you who've tuned in live. There's about 800 of you. Please head on over to the website, milehighhockey.com. You can also see some written material from Brennan Vogt and Evan Liu at Hockey Mountain High. Written material from Ezra Parter, Jackie K, and myself at milehighhockey.com. It's been a privilege chatting with the 4 of you. And folks, thank you so much for tuning into the program. Please like, subscribe, and share with your fellow Avalanche fans. But until next time, I will just say this: go Avalanche.
Thank you for tuning into the Mile High Hockey Lab.